This broadcast is part of the IC Robots radio network. Visit icrobots.com for this and many other nerd/nostalgia-related podcasts. You won't be sorry for long.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire.
I don't wanna grow up, don't wanna grow up. I don't wanna grow up, don't wanna grow up. I don't wanna grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can find.
Welcome to the Toys R Us Report, recorded live on Jupiter's third largest moon, Callisto. You better get his rookie card now, because after this year, the price ain't going down. He's your host, IC Robots.
Greetings, Earth people. I am from Jupiter. It is me again, IC Robots. I am not a hero, but I do sacrifice a bit of my week each and every week to make your week a bit less weak. And I think this week it's going to get a lot less weak. We're going to start off with a little combo I had with Iceberg over at the arcade. He wants to tell us some of his favorite arcade games of all time, and then we're gonna talk about a movie I saw with Johnny Knoxville, and then we're gonna do a bit of a summer movie preview. I'm a summer movie junkie. Heck, I'm an all year movie junkie, but summer is when a lot of fun things come out. So let's I don't know, man. Let's move into the show. Let me find this bit from Iceberg. It's a blast from the past. All right, here we go. Hit it.
My whole life has just been a nightmare. It's a terrible experience. You know, most of my friends have died in space or gone insane from the unimaginable loneliness of being there. My wife and my kids, they died in space. It was an accident. My whole life has just been a nightmare. It's a terrible experience. Yeah, it's too late for me now. I'll probably die on my next mission anyways.
God, it's so good to hear you say that. Yeah, man, it is how it feels sometimes, the unimaginable loneliness of being up here. But I am sometimes starved for human companionship, but I always got my dude, Iceberg 13. I always got my gal, Engineer Emily. I got everything I need in that regard. Last episode, we did the thing where we talked about my top 5 arcade games of all time in space, and this has caused a bit of controversy. People are up in arms at my picks, but that's what you pick for, man. You get those arms up in the air. One dude who's waving around his tendrils like crazy is, of course, our guy Iceberg 13. He wanted to meet up with us over in the station's arcade to have a little chat about what he thought were some of the best games of all time. I'll say he didn't agree with anything I said, so I don't know. Let's do that. I was unable to get either AB Silver or Johnny 5 on the show. I have not been able to follow the cryptocurrency market, so I don't know how the Johnny coins are doing as of yet. I did see him a while back arguing on Twitter with Ferg from the Atari 2600 Game by Game podcast. He was arguing with like Engineer Nerd and all these people about crypto coins, and I don't know. I thought that was wild. I wouldn't even get involved with that guy. If you want to, though, you can find him on Twitter. It's at It's Me Johnny. Like, hey, it's me, Johnny 5. Yeah. Anywho, I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if you do want to, you can do it. Let me play the cassette. I was able to record this meeting I had earlier with Iceberg where we talked. He let me bring down my boombox, and I got a recording. Let me get it started and take it away. Hey, Iceberg. How's it going, man? I haven't been down here in a while.
Hello.
Hey, I heard that you heard my top 5 list. I think you like it. You said you like it. Did you dig it?
No, I disagree with all of it. It was literally the worst list ever. One has to wonder if you have ever even played a video game in your life.
Well, you don't say. Okay, what was the game that you would have added to the list that I didn't have on the list?
Robotron.
Robotron? That's a weird one. Why Robotron?
Because even though you have to play as the flesh bag, the robots always do overwhelm him, so it is fun to see that happen.
So you like Robotron because the robots always win. I get it. That sounds like fun. What's another one? Tell us another one of these games that you would have added to the list.
Okay, how about iRobot by Atari?
I think it's called Atari. iRobot by Atari? I have never even heard of that game.
Of course you haven't. It's very good because you actually play as the robot and you fight an evil dictator. It is one of my favorites, but we do not have it here on the station.
No, we don't? Like, not at all?
Of course we don't. You people do all you can to hold robots down.
You people? What do you mean by you people?
I mean you flesh bags. What did you think I mean?
Well, I thought that's what you meant, but I kind of hoped it wasn't what you meant. I thought we were friends. Anyway, are there any other games that you felt were lacking or missing on the list?
Yes, there are more games. I am a video game expert.
Okay, video game expert, are you ready to tell us your next game?
Yes, this is one more game that you forgot.
Okay, I get it. I forgot it. What is the name of the game?
Cyberball.
Cyberball was mentioned in the shout-out section. I love that game. Why don't you tell us what you love about Cyberball?
It celebrates robot sports and robot athletes like no other game in history. It is a breakthrough in robot civil rights.
I don't know about all that. I don't know if it's a breakthrough in robo rights. It's like the robots blow up and stuff during the game. That doesn't know, man. That doesn't seem like it's moving robots forward or anything. It's kind of one step forward, 2 steps back.
You know nothing of the suffering. This game is a breakthrough.
No, you're probably right about the suffering. I don't know a lot about that. How is the game a breakthrough?
We robots were the main focus, not the enemy, not the foe. We were the stars, as it rightfully should be.
Yeah, I kind of see your point. You guys were the focus, but I do have to admit that you dudes were coached by people, by flesh bags in the game. So there is that. I guess it's not all the way there on the robo rights tip, but that was cool. I appreciate you, breaking down that knowledge, Iceberg. I'm going to internalize that. Are there any other games that you would like to add to the list?
No.
No? Not even like one?
No, there are none, which shows you the suffering and the pain that a robot gamer goes through.
I guess I don't game that much myself, so I don't know, man. What do you hope to get out of all this?
I wish for equal representation, nothing more. I want my slice of the pie.
I dig that. We all want our slice of the pizzi.
I appreciate your understanding why your list was garbage.
Come on, dude. I don't think my list was garbage.
No, it was garbage. Listen, I have to go.
Oh yeah? Where do you gotta go?
Nowhere. I just wish to quit talking to you.
Nah, that's cool. I get it. What do you want to do instead?
I want to play Moon Patrol.
All right, man. Talk soon.
Why?
In a moment, at the movies, without Ebert, Siskel, or even that dude Roper. But you got Icy Robot, so that's something, right?
The star of Jackass invites you to a place
Exit point is now open.
where rules go to die. On June 1st,
We're gonna make this place fast and loose.
Looks kind of dangerous. You ready?
This place should be closed down.
Johnny Knoxville. Action Point. Only in theaters June 1st.
Action Point is, it's the latest from Johnny Knoxville, who we all know from MTV's Jackass, that wacky stunt show they used to do back in the day, where dude was always doing silly stuff like boxing the butterbean or doing like weird skateboard stuff. I like Johnny Knoxville, and I think that Jackass was an interesting slice of that time. I was really into watching it. I never did stunts myself, but it was a lot of fun to watch. But in retrospect, with what we know about head injuries and all this stuff, and just getting older, you lose the taste for watching people fall on their necks, I guess. I myself have, maybe not everybody has, but I don't like to watch the Jackass reruns as much as I thought I would have. When I see him somewhere, I kind of feel uncomfortable watching, Chris Pontius fall directly on his head off of a telephone pole, or watching Johnny Knoxville try to ride a moped through a barbed wire fence or whatever. I just made those up, but I definitely respect people who put themselves out there and put themselves on the line like that. This movie is the latest from Johnny Knoxville and Chris Pontius. Like I said, it's not something that features the rest of the Jackass crew. There's no, I don't know. I can't even think of any of these guys' names right now, and it's all irrelevant. This is a scripted feature, much like the one he did about Grandpa's. It's scripted, but it also has some real stunts. It's the story of a 1970s, I'm assuming late 70s, maybe early 80s amusement park called Action Point that the Johnny Knoxville character owns, and they're like a down homey, sort of dangerous, kind of sketchy, sort of the kind of amusement park that you no longer see anymore. The kind of places where your neck could conceivably be on the line. They make up for it though, with the charm, the small town charm. This is the place where all the weirdos and the heshers and the dudes who used to beat us up back in the day over at Garfield Park. This is where they hang out at, and the park starts facing some stiff competition from a Six Flags type park. I think it's called Seven Parks that opens up like 30 minutes away. So what Johnny Knoxville's character decides to do is he decides to like pull out all the stops, have every ride be the most dangerous ride of all time, have everything be like, he calls it fast and loose, I call it super dangerous, call it what you want. The gimmick is that when you go to Action Point, you could conceivably die. I did a bit of research, very, very minimal research, and I found out that Action Point was actually a real park, I guess, I think it was the East Coast. I'm not sure. A lot of the attractions that are in this movie are copied from the real life park. They have a loop-de-loop water slide, which I think is bananas. I love a water slide. I used to love going to Windsor Waterworks like so much back in the day when it was still around. TROY, Windsor Waterworks.
Get wet. It's a new kind of fun. For moms and dads and guys and gals and everyone. You can bring the whole family. We got nothing but room to picnic or relax or ride the wild dune too. The Windsor Waterworks is the place to come for a splashing good time or a day in the sun. And if you want a thrill that you'll never forget, ride the wild dune bloom and you're gonna get wet. Gonna get wet. Windsor Waterworks, you're gonna get wet.
And now, Woody and Friends continues with Spider-Man.
That sounds dope. I would definitely watch Woody and Friends with Spidey, good old Spider-Man in it. That was for the Santa Rosa people who I hope are out there listening a bit, and I apologize that went a little bit long. But once you start that Windsor Waterworks jingle, that's a wrap, man. You gotta see it through till the end. I find myself still humming that song all the time, and this way off from Action Point, but not in reality. The Windsor Waterworks shares some kind of similarities with Action Point. You know, they got that down home appeal. To get back to the movie, there's also this subplot where Johnny Knoxville's daughter is there, and the whole thing is told from the angle of a much older Johnny Knoxville looking back and reminiscing with his granddaughter about the grandeur that was Action Point. The movie has a very thin side plot about how, well, I guess this is actually the main plot. The bigger amusement park company tries to buy Action Point, and they're gonna shut it down. You know, they got friends at the bank that are gonna shut it down. I don't know. This movie was lacking in a lot of ways. The story is a bit thin. There are a lot of stunts, and I realize that the stunts are the main focus of the movie. In the day when you would see a Jackass movie, it was wall-to-wall stunts, and they were all good and they were all funny. This only has a few stunts, which is fine. I get it. I don't need Johnny Knoxville to do any stunts, to be honest with you. I don't want to see him get banged up anymore. And if he wants to make comedies, that's all good to me. But if you are going to take the stunt aspect down to a minimum, you gotta have some good comedy in the script, and it's just not there. I don't know why I expected it to be there. I really didn't. Once I sat down and started watching the movie, I got that feeling of, why am I here? Why did I choose to see this movie? I guess it's because I'm a fan of Knoxville's in the past, and when I saw he had something new coming out, I decided I was going to go and check it out right from the jump. I tried not to read the reviews because I didn't think that they would. I couldn't imagine a world in which there was going to be a bunch of tomatoes for Action Point, so I tried to stay away from the reviews. Let's take a look at that now while we're on the subject. Right now on Tomatoes, it's 19% with the critics. It's rotten. It is 39% with the peeps, which is also not great. The movie has crude sexual conduct, language, drug use, teen drinking, and brief nudity. It was written by Johnny Knoxville. It stars Johnny Knoxville, and that's honestly all you need to know. I have to admit that I was a little bit uncomfortable with watching the older Johnny Knoxville fall on his dome piece. I knew that's what was going to happen, but when you start seeing this guy that you like, who seems like a cool guy, seems like a nice guy, taking these horrific bumps, it's a bit uncomfortable. Knoxville, you don't got to do it anymore. I know that's what people expect from you, and I know to a degree you probably don't mind it. You're into it, I guess, or else you wouldn't do it, but you don't have to. It's fine. Just sit down and focus on the script. Get together with a good writing partner. Find somebody and just bang out some funny scripts. Maybe you try, and maybe they don't want to give them to you unless you do stunts. I don't know. That is also a possibility, but I have to sadly admit that I have a feeling that at the end of the year, when we're talking about some of the worst movies I saw, that this might be on it. I did have a little bit of fun. They didn't have a bad time. It just wasn't all that terrific. I feel bad even saying so. But on the good old fashioned Source Magazine mic meter, with 1 being a dud and 5 being an all-time classic, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to give Action Point 2 mics.
2 mics.
Tonight's program has been brought to you by richer, stronger Hills Brothers Coffee and new Instant Hills Brothers Coffee, the first instant coffee that smells like coffee. And Kellogg's Sugar Frosted Flakes, Kellogg's Special K for bodybuilding protein, and Kellogg's Rice Krispies, Snap, Crackle, and Pop.
It's starting. You can feel the heat. But the heat also brings some great movies. This is the I See Robots Radio Summer Movie Preview 2018.
The summer is it's a special time of the year for all of us. If you're a kid, you're out of school, you're having fun. If you're a parent, it's like you have the kids around the house, and that's always fun too. For everybody else, it's the time of the year where the sun is coming down. It's warm out. In some cases, hot. It has its ups and it has its downs. Some things about summer are great. Some things not so great. But one of the things that is off the charts great about summer is all the summer movies. Since everybody's out of school, since everybody's on vacation, this is when the production companies drop all their dope movies. This is when you're going to see your Jurassic Parks, usually your Star Wars, your Marvels, your DCs, whatever. This is when you're going to see movies where lots of action-packed things happen. This is my preferred season of the year. I love all types and all genres of movie entertainment. But during the summer, I go sometimes 3. I've been 4 times a week. I like to take everything in. So I decided this year, why not take a look at some of the cool movies that are going to be coming out over the next few months? Some of the things we're going to be looking forward to. Some of the things I am really looking forward to. Let's log. I should have logged on. I apologize. Let me get the AOL going. We got Pooptronics dial-up here. It's not the best by any means.
You've got mail.
I do? That's always fun. That's always fun to get in electronic mail, but more often than not, it's from someone you don't even know. I get been getting a lot of political things. It's the election time, and they've been hitting me up with that. But let's find a nice list of all the movies that are coming out. I usually go to Rotten Tomatoes for things like this. I like to keep up with the tomatoes. So we've just gotten past the week with Action Point, the Johnny Knoxville movie, Adrift, the movie where Shailene Woodley is lost at sea. We got the new Upgrade that looks all right. I thought that was Tom Hardy, but it's actually a dude named Logan Marshall Green. I'm not super familiar with his work, but in the trailers, he looked a bit like a bearded Tom Hardy. That's already come out. It's 85 tomatoes. That's pretty good. For the upcoming week of June 8th, things are in full effect. We got Ocean's 8. That is the all-female Ocean's movie with America's sweetheart Sandy Bullock and the greatest actor in the world, Cate Blanchett, teaming up as a bunch of crooks with Rihanna and all sorts of people. Anne Hathaway is, I believe, in pursuit of them. That looks all right. I'm sure I'll go see that. For whatever reason, 2.0 wants to check that out. And then the same day, there's a documentary about Mr. Rogers called Won't You Be My Neighbor that looks out of sight. I'm super interested in Fred Rogers as a person. He seems so great. I think that he's somebody that we can all aspire to, and I'm definitely gonna go see that. And then the same day, this is a good day. Hotel Artemis. This looks like it's set in the John Wick world, even though it's not. It's about this world of shady business and criminals and a hospital called the Artemis, and all the crooks go there when they get filled full of lead, and Jodie Foster, I think, is the head doc, and she goes and she fixes everybody up, but then something happens. This is like the hotel in John Wick where everybody goes, but you're not allowed to do any shady business. Somebody does some shady business at the hotel, and things pop off. Sophia Boutella, one of my favorite of all the young action actresses of all the times, is she's in that. So is Jeff Goldblum. The next week, and that previous week was a good week. There's a few movies coming out. You might wanna save one of those. I think that we'll probably see Ocean's 8, and maybe we'll see Won't You Be My Neighbor, and I'll save Hotel Artemis for the next week, because next week only has Superfly starring Trevor Jackson. I don't know. This doesn't really appeal to me. I am a bit of a minor blaxploitation buff, and the Superfly was cool. I see why you want to remake it for a new generation, get some more money out of it. But I don't know, man. It doesn't look great. I'll still probably see it at some point. Maybe maybe I'll save that one for the $3 theater. Then the next Friday, you have Incredibles 2, which is the continuing story of the Incredibles. You know, the true life Fantastic Four archetypes. I know that I've seen Incredibles, but I have very little recollection of it. I actually have it saved on the DVR. I'm going to watch that again before going into Incredibles 2. But Incredibles 2 looks really good. I don't know why I don't have the strongest recollection of Incredibles. I might even feel like I've never seen it. For a while this was during, 2.0's youth, and you're tired, man. Hard going on. Then there's another movie coming out called Tag. It's a story of this group of dudes who've had the same game of tag going on forever. Like Jeremy Renner is he's like the champion of tag. Nobody can get him. But then there's like Ed Helms and Hannibal Buress and John Hamm is in it. This looks like it could actually be funny. I don't know if it actually is. A lot of these, these comedies have really great trailers, and then when you go through the movie, all the funny parts were up there. So I will definitely still see this. I like the idea of this tag game. It's been going on for decades. I don't know. I buy into Jeremy Renner as like the unbeatable tag champion. No one's laid a hand on him for a while. The following week we have what is going to be one of the big movies of the summer for sure. It's a movie known as Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Do you remember the first time you saw a dinosaur? First time you see them, it's like a miracle. You read about them in books, you see the bones in museums, but you don't really believe it. They're like myths. And then you see the first one alive.
This is not your fault.
But it is.
No. This one's on me. I showed him the way. She's tracked.
This one is going to be huge. This may end up being the biggest movie of the summer, potentially. People are mad into Jurassic Park type stuff. I like it. It's not my favorite thing of all the things, but I do definitely like it, and I will for sure be seeing this one opening weekend. The last Jurassic World was a lot of fun. I thought that Bryce Dallas Howard was like an interesting cast in that. I don't know. I might be getting to the point of like Chris Pratt overload, but he was good in that too. And it also had the gal who is Lena Luthor on Supergirl. She's somebody that I would like to see more of. She's kind of like a TV version of Keira Knightley. She's been in some of those Hallmark movies that the wife watches. I am looking forward to this one. It has the dude from the Get Down, this show I like on Netflix about the early days of hip hop. He's going to be in it. And then the same week as that, there is a movie called Under the Silver Lake, which is, I don't know, let's see. It sounds interesting. I've seen a trailer for it, and it looked kind of weird. It says, the latest from It Follows director David Mitchell stars Andrew Garfield as a disillusioned man who meets a mysterious woman and then embarks on a search to find her when she suddenly disappears. I like the trailers for this. This might not be a first week watch, but it will for sure be a watch. And then the next week there's a movie I'm crazy looking forward to. This is June 29. You are going to get Sicario 2, Day of the Soldado. I loved Sicario. I have watched that movie 3, 4, 5 times, I think, since it came out. It was on Amazon Prime, and it became one of my go-to things to put on in the back when I didn't know what else to put on. I like it a lot. This one doesn't have Emily Blunt, though. It's going to focus upon Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro. You got Thanos / Cable and a DJ from The Last Jedi teaming up to, I don't know, to go rogue and fight the Mexican mafia. Then there's also this movie, Uncle Drew, which, I I've seen the trailer for this like 5,000 times. It's some weird movie with like Shaq and Reggie Miller and all these basketball dudes from the 90s, the 80s, and like the 2000s, but they're made up like old men, and they're making a comeback at some street league. I kind of want to see this out of morbid curiosity. I was a big NBA fan back in that era, and then there's also a remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels with Anne Hathaway and Rebel Wilson. I have not seen anything of this movie. I have no idea. It sounds weird, though. I'm not sure I'll be seeing that. And then the weekend of July 4th, there is only one movie, and that is the patriotic thriller, The First Purge. I kid. It's the next in the saga of The Purge. We all know what that is. It's this movie set in the not so distant future where one day a year there are no laws. You can go and you can do whatever you want. I think it's actually one night a year. There are no laws. You can go out. You can run amok. You can do everything short of detonating large scale explosives. I think is when I paused it on the fine print. I think that's what it was. You can do anything short of like shooting bazookas. Then right after that, there is what I'm going to call the second really big movie of the summer. It is the latest Marvel movie, and that is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
We unleashed something powerful. We have to stop her.
If you want to do something right, you make a list. 1, we have to team up. 2, we're going to have to fight Ghost. 3, we're going to track down Ghost. That seems like it should be part of 2. 2A.
Watch this.
Oh, also, we have to save the world. That's major. We can't forget that.
This is the latest Marvel movie. This is gonna be one of the biggest movies of the summer for sure. All Marvel movies do at least pretty good. This is the follow up to Infinity War though, and it's almost like the opposite of what that movie was. But that's not a bad thing. But it is, as far as, power rankings, when you're going from every dude in the Marvel universe all the way down to Ant-Man, it is a bit of a fall. But I think that's what you might need to do. You might need to bring people down before you take them back up into the story. This takes place before that, though, before the Infinity Wars, I think, and I don't know if that will even be addressed. I hear some rumors that maybe it will, but I'm not at all sure about anything like that. If you like the first Ant-Man, I would imagine you're gonna like this one too. If you like Marvel movies, I imagine you're gonna like this one too. I'll definitely go see this opening weekend. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a big fan of Evangeline Lilly. I liked her on Lost. She was Kate on Lost, and she was in the first movie as well, the first Ant-Man movie. But this time she's going to be in costume with wings, with zappers out there fighting crime with good old Paul Rudd. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that she has the right look and temperament for a Marvel hero. She always comes across, the character she plays, she comes across so serious, and she's so good at just that seriousness. She seems like a super competent gal. She plays that really well, and it's going to be cool to have her take that into the Wasp. But I'm looking forward to this, I would say. I'm not as jacked up as I was for Infinity War, but I can't imagine anyone is. But I do think this is going to be, it's going to be a lot of fun. The first Ant-Man was fine. It was cool. I like it. I'll check it out when it's on cable sometimes. I don't have it on Blu-ray or anything, but it's pretty cool. Also opening that week is another movie that is of interest to me. It's Sorry to Bother You with Lakeith Stanfield, he's on Atlanta. I always forget the name of his character, but he's the guy who's not Paperboy and he's not Earn. He's the guy who hangs out with them. This is the story of a dude who's doing telemarketing, and he starts to achieve success when Danny Glover teaches him how to use this really stereotypical white guy voice. He learns to give this stereotypical voice, and with it, his sales go through the roof. What interests me about this is that the movie's directed by Boots Riley from the from the seminal rap group of the Bay Area known as The Coup. He makes his directorial debut with this. I thought the dude was such a great rapper, and they were such a cool group with this political message. They had like this Black Panther vibe out of Oakland. I dug these guys a lot, and I'm really interested to see what he can bring to the film world. He was a lyricist, this guy. I think that he has a lot of brain power on his side. And I'm curious about this movie. It definitely looks interesting. If it opens around here, I'll check it out. And then the next week, the week of July 13th, you get Skyscraper. That's the big summer movie from The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He like climbs a building and jumps across it or something. He's a security guard. You've probably seen the trailer for this. We'll definitely go see it. It doesn't look to me to be like an amazing action movie, but it will be fine, I'm sure. The Rock's he's never in anything that absolutely stinks. You know, you can count on that. We even saw Rampage one afternoon. We caught it at the $3 theater, and it wasn't good. It wasn't great. It wasn't anything like that, but it was a little bit fun. So The Rock always, he brings his thing to it. Then that's a one movie week, really. There's something by Gus Van Sant. There is Hotel Transylvania 3 opens the same week. If you got some kiddies, that has Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg, and it's about Dracula. If you like Draculas and stuff, it's going to be for you. The next week on the 20th, you get the sequel to The Equalizer with Denzel Washington. I've seen the first one. I saw it when it came out, but I don't remember too much about it, to be honest with you. It's taken off of that TV show where that old guy would go around and bust caps on people to solve problems.
To be dead.
Scum! You are scum! You make everything you touch dirty! And you made me lower than you are! I do not forgive! 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 I do not forgive!
That is the only genre sort of movie that comes out. Then Mamma Mia, the sequel to Mamma Mia comes out. That has Amanda Seyfried and Pierce Brosnan. That is something you may end up having to go to. The gals love that Mamma Mia. They love that so much. My wife is into it. I know I'll have to go see this. It is the girl from Baby Driver. I think they play this trailer a lot when we're over at Summerfield, the artsy fartsy theater. We've been going there a lot lately, and when we do, it seems like every single time they play this Mamma Mia trailer. We also watched this. We watched this show. I think it's on HD Movies, maybe Axis. I don't know. One of those nondescript HD channels that you get. They have this show called The Trailer Show. It's 15 minutes. They show a few movie trailers. We watched that. We skim it to see if there's anything fun, and they play this one all the time. The week after that, the 27th, July 27th, you get the latest Mission Impossible. It's called, what is it called? Mission Impossible Fallout. And I don't know what it's about. I've honestly only seen one Mission Impossible movie, and that was the last one, Rogue Nation. And I only went because it was a week like this and nothing else came out. But I did definitely like it. I thought it was fun. It made me think that maybe I would go back and look into some of the Mission Impossible movies, but I never have. I'll go see this though. There's some scene where I think like he's climbing up the side of a mountain, Tom Cruise. I'm sure he's doing some crazy stunts. That's his thing now. He's had that thing for a while, I guess. But he does his own stunts. He's always risking death. I wouldn't be surprised to see that he ended up like falling out of he's tried to jump out of a jet ski out of an airplane into the water, and he met his end. I wouldn't be surprised to hear something like that. And then as we get into August, things start to ramp down. There's still movies coming out, but this is the movies that may be good, but they didn't want to compete with the Marvel movie. They didn't want to have anything to do with the hotter days of summer movies. You got like this movie Darkest Minds. It's based off some YA novel. I I'm not familiar with the movie property nor the novels. It's about kids with superpowers on the run from the government. You got Mile 22, which is the latest team up with Marky Mark Wahlberg and Peter Berg. No relation. And in this, Marky Mark is some kind of an operative who's smuggling something. And the interesting movie that comes out this week, I think, is this movie called Searching with John Cho and Deborah Messing. In this, his daughter goes missing, and he goes through, like, social media and whatever to, like, try to find out where she is. The movie, it's like a, the run-of-the-mill missing gal tale, but they get it going through the computer networks and all this stuff. And I saw the trailer, and I saw it on the trailer show, and I thought it looked good. I've heard some good pop on this. It's at 100 Tomatoes, but it hasn't exactly opened up everywhere. It hasn't opened up anywhere yet. A few critics saw it and liked it. And the next week you get The Meg. This looks like super fun. It's a movie about a giant shark. What are those called? Like megalodons? I think that might be what it is, but I'm by no means sure. And in this, like, a megalodon it's out in the world. It's in the ocean, and Jason Statham is going to battle it. He's going to destroy it. And I am so looking forward to this. I think this looks fantastic. It's exactly up my alley. The next week, nothing that fun. And then you got August 17. You have a couple good movies. Your first one is The Happy Time Murders. This is that one where it's like puppets, but it's like totally lewd. I don't know. This doesn't exactly look like it's up my alley. If it gets some good reviews, I might go see it. It seems more along the lines of a movie like Ted. I like Ted. I thought it was all right, but it's not exactly up my alley. It seems something like that. Then you got The Captive State. I think this one sounds pretty good. It stars John Goodman and Vera Farmiga, and in it, I'll just read this straight off the thing. It's a sci-fi thriller that explores the impact on the lives of people living in Chicago after it was occupied by alien forces a decade earlier. I like things that tell the story of the after. We always get the during. I'd like to see a little, maybe, a smudge of the during to give you an idea of what went down, even if they show it through, like, newspapers or whatever. But I like to see the continuing story. I don't know too much about this one, but I like what I see there. Let's see if we can find a trailer for this. This looks like it might be pretty fun. I don't even know what to say besides it looks like it's going to be dope. I'm looking around here, and what is this? Hold on. It says the movie is not being released until 2019. I think we may have a bit of an error here on good old Rotten Tomatoes movie list. Let's figure this out. Let's get to the bottom of this. There is another movie entirely. It's a movie with Kate Mara in it, and it is also known as The Captive State. It looks like they made a mistake and they linked to the wrong movie. I am way more looking forward to seeing this John Goodman movie. I don't know if I'll be able to make it till May of 2019. What a foobar here, you guys at Tomatoes. You got my hopes up. So I don't know. I don't know what I'll be seeing that week. Probably the Kate Mara movie. I like Kate Mara. I prefer Rooney Mara, but I definitely have no problems with Kate. Then we move into the 24. There's a movie called Axel, which they say is it's AXL. I'm assuming that they say Axel. It's in the vein of E.T., Daryl, and Short Circuit. And it's about a teenager who discovers and befriends a state-of-the-art AI. The major difference in this is that the robot is a dog. It looks kind of like a really big robotic Doberman, but without the fur. It's metallic. I don't know. I probably won't see this. I would say that more than likely I will not see this. I might end up watching it on a cable someday, but I do not think that I'll be taking this in at the theater. But I don't know. I might get convinced. It's the end of the year. There's not a lot coming out. We got a sci-fi movie called Replicas with Keanu Reeves and Alice Eve. I like them both. Keanu Reeves and Alice Eve, no relation. In this, it is It's the tale of a man who becomes obsessed with bringing his family back in any way possible after they are killed in a car accident. Well, that sounds upsetting. Who knows? Who knows if I'll go see that the following week? No, there's one more. This is one I'm sure I won't be taking in either. It is a meme-inspired movie known as The Slender Man. Slender Man's kind of scary, but this movie doesn't look good. And then the final movie of the summer, we're gonna get James Franco back in action in a movie called Kin with him and Zoe Kravitz. This is a sci-fi action film about a pair of bros who are forced to go on the run from a vengeful criminal with only a mysterious weapon. I don't know. I'm sure I'll see that. I have no reason not to. I like a sci-fi thing. I like a mysterious weapon. So that is all of the fun movies that come out in summer. Let's think about this for a minute. What do you guys think will be the IC Robots Radio summer movie of the year? Will it be Solo? Will it be the Sicario? Will it be Hotel Artemis? What about Jurassic World or Ant-Man and the Wasp? I don't know. I wonder what will be my favorite movie of all of these. Maybe Sicario, maybe the first Purge. I'm interested. I've seen all the Purge movies. I think they're pretty good, and I've always been curious about how the whole thing started, and this one's going to tell you the tale of that. So I am looking forward to that. The Mission Impossible will probably be fun. The movie with Marky Wahlberg and Peter Berg, no relation, that'll probably be fun too. The Meg might be fun. This is going to be a good summer. There's a lot of things to see, and when we get down into award season, who knows what we're going to think. The season is started the week of June 1st, as far as I'm concerned. I decided that when the school season ends is when the movie season starts. But then you lose Solo and you lose Deadpool, but they're like pre-summer movies. Some places have that super long summer season. They think that, and I don't disagree with this, that the season expands, and so does your judging parameters. If a movie like Deadpool 2 opens, which is definitely a summer movie, even if it's not technically in the summer, do you include it? And they do. I don't know. I'm a summer traditionalist. I've expanded it as far as I can. There is no further break. So the week of Action Point, that might be the first movie of the summer season. If Solo, you waited one more week, you would have been one of the biggest movies of the summer, but you just had to go up there. You had to go a week early. I don't know why. Maybe it was Memorial Day. Maybe that's why. Some people consider Memorial Day the kickoff of summer, but it can't be summer to me if the kid's still in school. If she's still at school, if she has to go back to school that Tuesday, it's hardly summer, and I don't know, it just is what it is. Let's move into the final segment of the show. I got a funny story about a G.I. Joe action figure part that went amiss.
Yeah. Hey, young Swain Tech used to play cassettes of Busy Bone. This is what it sounds like when thugs cry. Plus Elliott Smith, Miss Misery, Scotch tape on the hose. This is how it goes. Arts and crafts.
Please drop by supportthereport.com and consider becoming a show patron for as low as a measly $1 a month. It's the right thing to do. You've made it this far. It's time. The final segment, your weekly toy shop update, the Toys R Us report.
All right, Slokey Pokes, we are back for what is the final segment of the show, the segment that is sometimes known as the Toys R Us report, other times it is known as the something informational something moment or something like that. This is where I talk about stuff I got and things I might have watched. I don't know. I tie up a lot of loose ends here, and I want to start off with a brief story about some G.I. Joe stuff that I have been I've been up to. I was digging around underneath my desk because the phone cable had come undone. This the old copper landline that I keep for emergencies, and it was very useful during last October's fire. I keep it, and it came undone. So I was under there looking to see what was amiss when I discovered this big what would be, I think it's like an 8-track tape cassette case. It's this big brown, somewhat wood grain colored plastic box. It's pretty big. It's maybe 2 feet by 1.5 feet across. Maybe. It's pretty big. It's I don't know how I don't notice it under there, but it's been under there for a while. This was part of the biggest, maybe the best G.I. Joe score that I ever got. I got it at a charity thrift sale. It was just full of parts and people and everything you could ever want. This is where I got the majority of my 1982 G1 G.I. Joes. And while I was looking around under there, I saw the case. So I decided to bring it up and take a look at it again. It's been under there for a long time. By this point, it's full of mostly like loose parts and figures that I intended to put together and never got back around to, or like guns that I want to match the dudes up with, but haven't gotten around to. But I feel motivated to do that kind of stuff at this moment. So I started digging into it, and I was able to put together a few figures from 1982 that I didn't have previously, which was terrific. I had some leftover O-rings from some other project, and I was able to put them all back together. A lot of the 1982 Joes have interchangeable parts, so I was able to like move parts around from different people, and I got Grunt, I got Short Fuse, I got a new arm for Clutch, I got a new arm for Stalker in there. So my collection is much better off than it was even a few days ago, and I got what would be considered a crown jewel in many other people's. Well, it's a crown jewel in my collection too. Why am I sounding so pompous? I got Steeler. He's the tank driver for G.I. Joe, and he was exclusive to the Mobat, to the tank, and not everybody had the tank back in the day. This was a big ticket item. It ran on batteries, and it was really great. I didn't have it. I never had it when I was a young spread. I have it now. I got it at the flea market, but I didn't have the driver. But in going through these pieces, I was able to put together Steeler, the tank driver, with his weapon. He didn't have his visor. His helmet rather. It comes with a visor, like a binocular visor. I wasn't able to get that, but I have since ordered it on eBay. It should be here today, but I don't know. I'm not down on the Earth base to check the mail, so maybe it's there, maybe it's not. Let's hope that it is. But here is where the story gets fun. I had to super glue a piece of an arm peg, the interior peg of his arm, to get it to go all back in together. That's what had stopped me previously from putting Steeler together. His arm peg was broke, and I was too lazy to like give it a little sand, for texture and like glue it back together. But I did it. I put it in I wrapped like a rubber band around it to hold it in tight, and I had left it for a while, and then I came back to it, and I'm putting in the O-ring, going through the hip, putting the joint back on, and I'm doing it. I'm having a good time. I'm having a lot of fun doing this little project, especially because I know when I'm done, I'm going to have one of the rare figures from G1. This guy complete can cost like $85 on eBay, and I never intended to pay that price for him. So I thought, until I find one over at the Sebastopol flea market or over at Mojo Sales, I will be without Steeler. But it turns out I had him all along, and I was going to achieve this goal when all of a sudden it popped apart. It popped apart from the O-ring, and pieces Pieces flew, not everywhere, but I was able to gather them all up except for the front of his chest plate. And this was a piece that is distinct to Steeler. All the pieces are actually distinct because he's a weird color. He's a different color green than the other dude, so you can't switch arms or anything. He's the only fool that has this more bright of a green. I could not find it anywhere. I looked under the couch in the office. I have a TV tray that I sit in front of my couch in the Earth Base 1 office, and I like to do my little projects on this tape while I'm watching VCR tapes. I'll put in something. I had this 25th anniversary Star Trek special that somebody recorded off TV, and I found it at the dig, and it has commercials, and I was watching that while I was doing this, but the piece vanished. I looked in all the obvious places. I took apart the couch, I looked under the couch, I looked under everything that could be nearby. The thing about looking for something is first you look in the obvious places, and then you start expanding out, but you have to be thorough. So once you go over a place that you don't have to go back there. You gotta be 100% thorough. So I kept expanding my circle slowly till eventually it encompassed the entire room, the entire floor of the room. Then I started going to the things that were, near the ground, but not on the ground. And I worked my way up, and I scoured the room for, I'm not even kidding, an hour, because I thought to myself, this is like a $70 figure because his arm's not perfect. So I can spend some time looking for it. It's worth my time to look. It's not like I dropped, like a Lego that I can't find. This is something worth looking for. So I'm looking, and it's going on forever. And finally I decide I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take from this looking. It's been going on too long. I'm going to go do something else. I think I walk the dog. So I do that, and then I come back and I continue to search, and I don't find it. And by this point, I'm getting frustrated. I'm a good looker. I'm good at this. I know how to do it. I make a grid. I'm thorough. So I'm getting very frustrated because it's like, it's nowhere to be seen. And then the wife gets home from work, and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm looking for this piece. I tell her the story. So she starts looking too. And she's a good looker as well. She thinks that she's better than me. So she'll go and she'll start the process all over again. She'll look in all the places I've already looked because she thinks she's the best. So she's looking, and I'm looking. We're both looking. It is nowhere to be found. And by this point, it's becoming like, the feeling is we have to find it any second because we've looked almost everywhere. We're thinking of new places it could theoretically be. Like, we're thinking of, like, we can't even imagine where it is, so we're just expanding our brains as much as we can in every direction, looking, and it's nowhere. So I'm incredibly frustrated. Like, my blood pressure's up. I can feel it. I'm going crazy in my mind. I don't know where it is. And she's frustrated too because she's been at work all day, and now she's home and she's looking for this thing, and we can't find it. But she wants to find it, so she's dedicated. We decide, let's take a break. Let's go to Safeway and do the grocery shopping, and then we'll come back and we'll look some more. We're at the point where we're like, let's empty out the vacuum canister and vacuum everything that can be seen, because it'll end up in there. Maybe we're just not seeing it for whatever. Let's use the tube. Let's do whatever. We're trying to think of new ideas. So we go grocery shopping, right? And we come back and we're like, that's crazy. We can't even put away the groceries because we're both like, this piece must be found. It's becoming this amazing challenge. So we're looking and we're looking and we're looking, and like, I'm getting sweaty from all the looking. So I take off this shirt. I'm wearing like a t-shirt with a button up over it. So like, I'm taking off my button up. We got a cold snap for a minute. So I'm wearing like a long sleeve shirt. So I take the long sleeve shirt off and I lay it on the couch and keep looking. And then while we're doing this, she goes, what's that? And I go, what? She's like, what's on your shirt? So she picks up the shirt and she looks at it, and she kind of like squints down, and she's like, is that the chest plate? And I go, what do you mean? So she shows me the shirt, and like, the chest plate was underneath my armpit on my shirt. It had somehow come in contact with the super glue, and when it shot, it must have gone like in there. And I'm thinking maybe like when I shut my arm, I pressed it down and I held it in place. I do not know how I didn't feel this, but I did not. And maybe because I had a t-shirt. I don't know. I didn't feel it, but there it was. It was glued on the armpit of my shirt. I couldn't believe it. I felt vindicated in a way because I didn't want my thorough search to fail. That'd be devastating if it just vanished. I did everything I could do to find it, and I was unable to find it, but I did. I found it. In the end, I won. It was stuck in my body. I started thinking about this, and I got really anxious because I was like, we were out. We walked around for a while before going to the grocery store. We went to the grocery store. I went up a hill. There's a hill behind the store that has a polka gym, and I went there. I battled the gym. I was walking around. I probably did 3,000 steps when we went to the grocery store, just from whatever. It could have fallen off anywhere, and I could have lost it. You got to give it up to Super Glue. Their promises have proven true. It stayed with me. I got it. I was able to put Steeler back together. He's in the Mobat right now. I love him more than I ever thought I could have in my life because of what we went through together, the anxiety, the anguish, and then finally, the success, the victory. This story went way too long. I apologize. It was traumatic, so accept my apology. I've been messing with this G.I. Joe box a lot. I kind of got on the kick of trying to get some of the accessories for the dudes I have. I started looking around online when I lost the chest plate, and I wanted to see how much it would cost to replace. It would be a lot, but I did discover that G.I. Joe guns and backpacks and stuff, they're not like really all that expensive. I got his visor, Steeler's visor, for I think $4.99 shipped. It's not that much at all. I bought Tunnel Rat's backpack. He's a character that was loosely based on Larry Hama, at least his appearance. It's like a little Larry Hama guy in like Jungle Rat outfit. He's wearing a bandana and he has a cool gun, but I didn't have his backpack. I ordered that. That was only a couple dollars too. I repaired one of my Dreadnoks Ripper. I bought his backpack. That was only a couple dollars. I'm in it to win it now. I bought Dr. Mindbender's gun. I have Dr. Mindbender, and I had one half of his torture device, but I didn't. The dude actually comes with a torture device. He is Cobra's interrogator. I have little air quotes. He's the interrogator. It's a pretty ill action figure when you look back and think about it. But I didn't have his gun. I had his torture device, but I was able to put him together with his gun. That was like $1.99 too. So I'm in it to win it right now. I want to I'd like to get a preeminent G.I. Joe collection. I realize there's not a ton of value in doing so, but it is what it is. I went over to the Toys R Us the other day, and it's getting mighty sad over there, but I'm trying to go as often as I can. I want to talk about this for 1 second. I read this in the newspaper this morning in the Press Democrat. There were apparently two companies that put in legitimate offers for Toys R Us that we didn't know about. One of them was the company that bought the Canadian stores. The stores are going to stay open in Canada, some in Europe too. So that's good for them. Nothing for us. But they put in an offer for the American stores as well. And from what I understand, the offer was more than reasonable, but they turned it down. Then I found out that Target put in an offer. The main thing they wanted was the baby registry, but they put in an offer on everything. I could imagine a world with like Target / Babies R Us / Toys R Us style stores. Maybe Target does have a pretty big toy selection. I could see them expanding that into not a full on Toys R Us are giant, not a full on Toys R Us, but maybe a mid-size Toys R Us. But what happened was TRU turned down the deal because they felt it was more lucrative to break down and sell the parts. And I get it. Your deal is you have to do what you can for the shareholders and everything. But man, corporate greed in full effect. We could still have our stores. People could still have jobs. Think of all the people who are losing their jobs, dude. There are a lot, and this is all sad. But I was down there, and I picked up a Rogue One, a 2-figure Rogue One set that I did not have, that I had wanted for a while. I got it for for $6.99. It is the Maraf and Scarif Stormtrooper. Maraf is he's the big white Wookiee-looking dude with the giant cannon on his back. That is, he's down with Saw Gerrera's gang. So at this point, I have everybody from Saw Gerrera's gang except for Two Tubes, and I'm gonna get up on him next. It wasn't that I love Two Tubes, dude. Two Tubes is great. It's wasn't that I didn't want it. It kind of slipped my mind. But now that I got Maraf, I definitely need that. He's gonna look cool. He's kind of a striking action figure. I haven't opened him up yet, but he also comes with the Scarif Stormtrooper squad leader. I'm not much of like a Stormtrooper guy. I do have a small area with, I don't know, maybe eight different Stormtroopers, but I hardly ever get any unless they're part of a 2-pack. I like the characters, the individual characters, but I can definitely see the appeal in army building this. It would be fun to have like a zillion Stormtroopers and set up a nice display, but I don't know. I'm happy to have this. I'm sad how I came about getting it. It's in its final days over there. This corporate greed is taking something else, dude. It's taking another thing that we loved, like they did KB back in the day. I get it. You got to make money for the shareholders, but I don't know. I would like to see some people be a bit more responsible overall, and maybe save some jobs, save some truck driver jobs. Those are important.
You made it
need
this
to serve
far.
those
It's
warehouse
time
workers.
for
I
final segment.
apologize.
The IC
I'm getting all
Robots
hippie on
Radio
you dudes.
Pop
I also got some
Culture
micro
/
machines,
slash
some
other
Star
boring
Wars
stuff
micro
informational
machines
moment.
at the Sebastopol flea market. I got this for $1. It's a 3-pack. It's a TIE bomber, a chicken walker, and a rebel. What is it? A rebel transport. I like this. I don't have any micro machines, but they're all pretty fun. I might start looking for them individually over at the flea market. I bet when you see like these giant piles of toys and cars that you sometimes encounter, I bet if you pick through those, you can find some micro machines. But you want to have the stands. That's a bit of a bummer. The stands are what make them cool. They're neat in and of themselves, but when you have the little stand and they look like they're flying, that really seals the deal as far as dopeness.
New Star Wars Micro Machines. Machines so iconic, they're legendary. So many, they're micro. This fleet of fighters is coming out of the Star Wars universe, so you can unlock this Star Destroyer with turbo lasers, terrific troopers, and tiny TIE fighters to bank blast and boom! Then unlock the mighty Millennium Falcon to take the mini, but just as mighty, Millennium Falcon for a spin. You can discover authentic adventure with the Star Wars Micro Machines collection. Figures, vehicles, and playsets, each sold separately. Remember, if it doesn't say Star Wars Micro Machines, it's not the real thing.
That is definitely something to remember, and I'm glad to see that my pack of micro machines has the seal of authenticity. That's crucial. Another crucial thing that I want to remind you guys about before I head out of here is hop on over on Facebook. Go to this page that I like a lot. It's called Classic Wrestling Matches and Mags. Just type that into the search bar. It'll take you right there. Give them a thumbs up. They're a big show patron, but even before they were doing us that favor, I was into this. This is it's a page that specializes in what we used to call Mark Mags. Back in the day, these were wrestling magazines that purported that the sport was real, and they would report on them like it was all in the up and up. I used to love these, man. I would go over to Sawyer's News and read them. I'd read them at the Safeway. I would like go through every single one. Back in the day, dude, these were like super popular. You would find 3, maybe 4 different wrestling magazines at Safeway. You get Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, The Wrestler, Inside Wrestling, and sometimes there were like these other off-branded ones that you would see as well. But if you like that stuff, go to Classic Wrestling Matches and Mags, give them a big thumbs up, tell them Icy Robot sent you, and you'll be getting like a few cool pictures, a cool match or two every single day of the week. It's great. There's no reason for you not to give them a thumbs up. Just do it. And if you'd like to consider becoming a show patron as well, we got something set up over at supportthereport.com. That is supportthereport.com. For as little as $1 a month, you can help us out. You can help us out a ton. You get some plugs on the show. I'll be your best friend and I'll be in Eternal Dead, I'll really appreciate it. If you like what we do, and we hope that's the case, consider hopping over to supportthereport.com. If you don't want to sign up for something like that, I get it. You could also help us out by going to iTunes, looking up IC Robots Radio, and leaving us a positive review. I'll read it here on the show, and I'll give you a big thumbs up, even though you won't see me doing it. So I think next week we are going to be back for another fun top 5 list where we're getting ready for Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park comes out the week after. So to get warmed up for that, we're gonna do another top 5. This one is gonna be the top 5 dinosaurs of all the times. Everybody loves a dinosaur. Everybody as a kid was into dinosaurs. We're gonna rate them, dude, from 5 to 1. 1 being the best. It's the opposite of the good old-fashioned Source Magazine mic meter. So until then, go and share this episode with your pals. Tell at least one other person out there how much fun you're having right now, and that'll do it as well. So until next time, for Iceberg, for Engineer Emily, for the Ensign Pod B, for Johnny 5 and AB Silver, I guess, for all the moon rats out there, this is me, IC Robot, signing off. If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah, that's right. This jam is rated Cold Medina, man. That's right, Cold Medina. We're in EFFECT, otherwise known as Effect. Know what I'm saying?
This has been an IC Robots Radio production. IC Robots Radio is a listener-supported endeavor. If you like what we do and we make your day a little easier, please consider tossing a few bucks our way to help keep the life support running. All money collected goes to help us prepare for future space pirate attacks. Go on over to supportthereport.com for all the details. Thanks and have a great week.
Everybody love everybody! Come on!
KBHK TV 44, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, Bay Area Cable 12.